Coming up on Mountain News this morning, last week a United States military aircraft crashed off the coast of Japan, killing a Kentuckian far from home. And 2 Eastern Kentucky colleges received a grant to help with multiple departments.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 5:33 on Wednesday, December 6th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, I can still hear that rain coming down here at the studio. I know it was drizzling and just a little bit whenever I was on my way in, but it sounds like it's raining a little bit harder now.
And it's raining a little bit here in Letcher County, too, at the house. So it's just coming into play here the last little bit. So, again, we're getting some of that heavy rain. But here at home, the areas of southwest Virginia are the only places cold enough for that transition to be happening. So, again, we talked about this was not going to be a major system, even in the higher elevations. That's exactly how it's planning out. But again, wet roads out there this morning, some wintry mix, some snow in those higher elevations. So just take it easy. Give yourself plenty of time to travel. Scoot on over to temperatures. Clintwood down to 34, Wise at 32. Now, here's the thing. 36 is pretty close to that transition line. So you got Hazard and Pikeville at 36, and Logan too. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on that. Temperature should keep going down for a little bit. And again, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of warmth today. Middlesboro still at 40, 6 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday, but Wise is 4 degrees colder. Logan's 4 degrees colder, and Prestonsburg and Pikeville a little colder this morning as the front went by. We're going to continue to see a little bit extra on your coffee meter as you head out the day, because it's just going to be kind of a dreary day. Could we get to 40? Yes. Do I think we'll get to 40? No. I do think those northwest winds will keep cranking there for a little while and keep us a little bit colder. So even if your air temperature gets to 40, it's definitely not going to feel like that. Olivia?
All right. Thank you, Brandon. We are learning more about a U.S. military aircraft that crashed off the coast of Japan. At least one of the 8 U.S. Air Force service members who died during that devastating crash has ties to Kentucky. U.S. Air Force Senior Airman Brian Cody Johnson attended Morehead State University. Kelsey Soto had a chance to talk to some of those who knew him and say he was the greatest listener.
Katie Marshall says every time she saw Cody Johnson, he made sure to give her a hug. Morehead State University says Johnson was a student there from 2009 until 2012. He was a member of the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity, but to friends, he was Kojo. Now here's some photos shared with us by a few of his fellow classmates. They tell me he was goofy and fun and could make anyone laugh, even on their worst days. One of his fraternity brothers said when he later found out Johnson was an airman, he couldn't have been more proud. Last Wednesday, he was one of 8 service members who died in an Osprey crash off the coast of Japan. Back in 2022, another Kentucky man was killed in an Osprey crash. His aircraft went down during a NATO training exercise in Norway. U.S. Marine Corporal Jacob Moore was from Catlettsburg. This aircraft does have a troubling track record. Records show since 2012 there have been at least 7 Osprey crashes that have left 27 people dead. A Marine Corps investigation last year found that an Osprey crash in California had suffered an unanticipated, unrecoverable, and catastrophic mechanical failure. But the Pentagon said there was no reason to ground the aircraft.
If these investigations lead to something that would cause us to adjust anything about how we believe the Osprey should be used, we would do that.
The Air Force says 6 of the 8 crew members' remains have been located. The search for the 2 missing crew members continues.
That was Kelsey Soto reporting. Japan has suspended all flights of its own fleet of 14 Ospreys. Japanese officials say they have asked the U.S. military to continue Osprey flights only after ensuring their safety. The Pentagon says no such formal request has been made and that the U.S. military is continuing to fly the Marine version of Ospreys deployed on the southern Japanese island of Okinawa. The man accused of driving drunk and causing a deadly crash in Laurel County last week was in court yesterday morning. Wesley Allen is charged with murder in the death of Fred Johnson. Deputy Brad Mink testified that Allen was driving a GMC truck that crashed head-on into a Honda that Johnson was driving. Johnson died at the scene, and the deputy said Allen told first responders how he had been drinking alcohol before the crash.
Under Miranda warning and consenting to give a statement, Wesley Allen said that he had been working on the farm all day with animals, and while working he had consumed beer throughout the day.
During cross-examination, Mink told Allen's attorneys that Allen had also admitted to using a cell phone just before the crash. Probable cause was found, and Allen will learn in January if he is being indicted. One man is dead and another arrested following a shooting in Wayne County, West Virginia. Dispatchers say it happened early yesterday morning along Blue Moon Hollow Road in the Dunlow community. Police say investigators found Jason Perry dead of an apparent gunshot wound. Chester Mullet was arrested and charged with murder. He was also charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. Troopers say more arrests are possible. In Johnson County, a man faces multiple charges after being accused of shooting his son. Deputies with the sheriff's office were called out to a home along State Highway 1559 in the Sitka community last Friday. Deputies found 61-year-old Timothy Rivers sitting in a chair smoking a marijuana pipe with a gun. Rivers later told investigators he warned his son to be quiet or that he would hurt him. Rivers was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. One person is dead after a crash in Mccre County. The crash happened Monday evening. Earl Crabtree of Pine Knot was traveling on Beulah Height Road when he lost control of his vehicle and went off the right side of the road, hitting a tree. Officials say he had been trapped in his vehicle and was freed by members of the Whitley City Fire Department. Crabtree died while he was being taken to a hospital in Lexington. The University of Virginia's College at Wise, along with the Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College, are receiving a portion of a $100,000 grant to promote science, technology, engineering, and math pathways. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox talked to professors from both schools about why they are making a push to get STEM curriculum in the classrooms.
Giving students access and opportunities for STEM education has reached a peak in importance.
If we didn't, in the community colleges, equip these folks for STEM-related careers, we would miss 40% of the students in the United States.
The Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College and UVA Wise are partnering to equip students in Appalachia with STEM-related knowledge.
Education, opening up these fields of knowledge about where can I go, what can I do, how can I do it, what do I need to get there, and I think that's what we want to help the students to realize.
Applying that mission has come with the help of a $100,000 grant. Carter says it is a planning grant that can take them to another phase.
Okay, now we have the students. We want to make sure that they're going into the STEMs. We're providing them some additional monies and some pathways and support for that. Now we want to determine, okay, you're in this degree plan, so where are you going to go?
They want to connect students with various industries, no matter the degree and no matter the college.
Sometimes when you have lower income areas, they may not be aware of the opportunities that are afforded other institutions which have more resources. And so by being able to put together a grant proposal, we can level the playing field.
Leveling the playing field and increasing opportunity. In Harlan County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
The lineup for next year's Realbird Music Festival in Lexington is out, and it includes several Eastern Kentucky natives. Chris Stapleton and Noah Kahn will headline the festival next summer from Red Mile. Realbird is set for June 1st and 2nd. Eastern Kentucky natives Winona Judd and Dwight Yoakum, along with Hoosier, Counting Crows, and others are also performing. More than 40,000 people filled the infield of Red Mile during this year's music festival. Officials at Red Mile say they're excited to have Realbird back next year.
They did an amazing job gathering, I think, really solidified talent and the up and coming talent.
You can buy pre-sale tickets starting tomorrow. For ticket information, head to Realbird's website. You can find a link in this story on the WYMT News app. Coming up, Mariah Carey is moving over after another oldie takes over the Christmas charts.
Listen, I couldn't believe that story. That's a good one for you. But the forecast today, it's going to look like Christmas, at least in some areas, and cold too. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.